All right, first, thank you everyone for coming, Baruch Hashem. Today, just as 2 days before Rosh Hashana, obviously we're going to talk about Rosh Hashana and to understand what exactly is the day all about. Everybody like to say it's a new beginning, right? It's the new beginning, Rosh Hashana, you start all over again, you start fresh. The thing is that, number one, we don't even know what it means, new beginning. Beginning of what, right? Beginning of a new relationship, beginning of a new job, beginning of a new neighborhood, you're moving, you're coming, beginning of a new personality. I'm a little bit scared of people that every year change their personality. You know, imagine getting married and then a year later it's like, hey, nice to meet you. Who are you, right? So new beginning of what? But that's one thing. The real problem is that even if we find out what exactly we want to do and to start, right? We don't really believe in ourselves or trust ourselves that you can do it because we got used to it, right? When you talk to kids, not even teenagers already feel like they're old, you know, they're like they know everything about life. There's nothing you can teach them. And I'm telling you that because not so long ago I was a teenager myself, you know. But kids, sometimes they still have this hope that they're going to change. Like I said with kids every year, they're going to school, I will, you know, start new page, it's a new teacher, you know, they will start. But at some point in life, we feel like it is what it is. You accept that, that's your life, that's it, that's who you are. People tell you, you says like, listen, it is what it is. I hear a lot actually from you know, singles that about to get married, Mr. Shem, lots of zivugim for everyone. So they're like, I'm looking for someone that will accept me or love me the way I am. I'm like, no. You need to look for someone that will help you to change yourself. Hamo, you don't want to stay like that. It's like, no, I want someone that you know, kamo shani, you know, to accept me the way I am. I was like, you can't even stand yourself. What are you talking about, right? So the thing is in life, we so convinced that's who we are and we just want to stay like that, right? So when Rosh Hashana has come, now there is a problem. Because number one, we don't even know what it's the new beginning all about. It's a new start. Start of what, right? Of a new calendar, of what, you know? And number two is, are we actually can do it? Also many people says it's like, you know what? Even if God will forgive me, everything that I did last year, whatever it was, right? In between obviously between me and God, if it's Shabbat, Kashrut, Tefillah, different things that it's been between me and Hashem, or things between me and other people. God forbid talking Lashon Hara, stealing, getting someone offended, saying things are not nice, behaving in a Israeli way, right? All of those things that you wanna work on yourself. You know, you're asking for forgiveness. And let's say Hashem says, you know what? Clear, everything is good. You're gonna move on? No. We feel like even if you forgive us, we're still gonna do the same thing. How many times people say, I'm not talking Lashon Hara anymore. I'm not talking Lashon Hara. Same conversation, they talk Lashon. Same. Someone is telling me, Rabbi, I accepted myself, I took a decision this year, Be'ezrat Hashem. I'm not talking Lashon Hara. No, zero gossip about other people, no negativity, karma. He wants to have good karma, good vibes, chill, Miami, Baruch Hashem. Says like, I'm very proud of you. I feel like I'm surrounding myself with good people. Says, I don't know about that, Rabbi, because I see you hanging out with Reuven, and that Reuven is not so. You just told me you're not going to talk Lashon Hara. In the same, people can't even a second later. So I feel like sometimes, okay, we want to work on ourselves. And God will forgive us for everything that happened. Are we going to change? Actually, this year is going to be a different year. Because in life, it feels like we're living in a loop, right? In Hebrew, year it's called Shana, right? What exactly it means, Shana? Shana, it means that it's repeating. It's going again and again. Shana mipnei lishnot. Like for example, when you learn something and you want to repeat it, we say lishnot. That's why we say Mishnah. What is Mishnah? Mishnah is what the Torah that the rabbis are teaching us. The oral Torah. And you just repeat it, right? So Shana, it means you repeating the same thing over and over. At the same time, Shana in Hebrew also means to change, right? Leshanot. So Shana can be to repeat everything all over again, or to change it completely, right? Your decision is lishnot or leshanot, to repeat or to change. You see that in Hebrew it's literally the same thing. The only difference is if you have one dot, is chirik, it's to repeat. And if you have two dots, leshanot, right? It make it like shema, it's actually to become someone else. Not really someone else, but to improve yourself. So basically Rosh Hashanah, I would say, it's not really a new beginning of nothing. It's going back to the original beginning and reliving that beginning all over again. We'll explain. So let's say that you like to go karting. You take your kids to speed K1 speed, right? Every time I'm going there with my kids, Desertland, I need to take mortgage. Crazy. The kids today, they want to have iPad, all of those nonsense, right? Tablets. They wanna, they wanna play all night, Fortnite, right? That's what they wanna do. Now they think if you're not gonna give them iPad, you're cheap, right? They don't understand that one time you take them to Desertland, you can buy 3 iPads or 3 tablets, right? The thing is that sometimes for education, you need to sacrifice not just money or energy or effort or time or attention or patience. You even need to sacrifice the concept that people will feel that you cheap with them. The zero appreciation. I don't know if it's a little bit deep, but if you have kids, you know what I'm talking about. It's okay for a parent or for a friend or for someone to sacrifice time, energy, money, but as long as someone will recognize it, as long as on the building it's gonna be your name, right? I did it, and then you're gonna do to yourself also. But then sometimes you don't even get that, right? Zero recognition. That's the challenge. And in life, if you wanna, wanna achieve yourself, wanna be successful in relationship, with wife, with husband, with kids, with parents, what you need to do is doing things without, this little hope in your heart that someone will recognize it. Because when that's not happening, then you're getting upset and you stop doing that, right? Especially in a relationship. You just give to give, and you do just in sake of doing, not because someone will recognize. So imagine you go to this K1 speed with your kids, right? And first time they're driving, they're not so good, right? So when you leave it, you see there is a screen, you see number 1, number 2, there's like, I think top 20, right? Top 20 in America, top 20 in Florida, top 20 in the same place, right? And you see people. So more they go, more they will, do it faster, better, right? Now, they're not really going to new places. It's always the same desert line, the same K1 speed, the same car they're using, right? And it's the same, literally the same road, like you go, same place. So how they improving themselves? When they go to the beginning, they sit on the car and says, this time I will do it better, right? 3, 2, 1, go. They do it faster, better. They know how to, they already know it. So how you become better? Not when you go to new places. When you go to the same place, using the same car and, getting used to do it good and better, and that's how you become the best, right? So basically, a new beginning, it doesn't mean to start something new, right? It means to make the beginning new. To go to the same beginning, the first day that we were created, either the first human, that was on Rosh Hashana, Hayom Arat Olam, Hayom Ya'amid B'Mishpat, that was the day that the first human was created, or to the first moment that we were, created or came to this world, right? When we were pure, clean, we wanted lots of things. That's why, babies are crying and they want things, but at the same time, you're pure. And we want to start all over again from the same beginning. And that's very important to understand this point. Rosh Hashanah, no one wants you to change yourself because it's impossible. You, the way you are, right? What we want to change is the way that you see life, is the way that you use the potential that you have. Because whatever you have, that's what God gave you. You're born with that, you're going to have it. We want you to go back to the beginning of yourself and to do it in a little bit different way. It means to repeat the year, right? Shana, Lishnot, to repeat with a twist, with a change, in a little bit different way. Rosh Hashana, it's basically Rosh, the head, right? of the Shana, of the cycle. Because if you're in the loop, you're just gonna do the same thing over and over and over. But if you go to the beginning, then you can do it in a little bit different way. That's why Rosh Hashanah is not about asking forgiveness. Rosh Hashanah, we don't do slichot. There's no vidui. There's no ashamnu, bagadnu, gazalnu, nothing. The opposite, it's a holiday. We celebrate, we eat, we drink, we enjoy. We have a good company of people, right? Everything is amazing. We're having a good time. So how exactly is the judgment day, right? If it's such a Rosh Hashanah, it's such a good time. So how exactly are you telling me, oh, it's a serious day? Yom Kippur, for example, it's something that is a little bit more serious. You're asking for forgiveness. You really feeling not bad with yourself, but a little bit guilty with the understanding that, there is things to do and to change and to improve. So how come Rosh Hashanah we're saying this is the new beginning of the year? This is everything, right? The thing is that even when we have hope, there's no chance. It means sometimes you really need to do something and you're trying to, and you have hope, but you see that even though you have hope, still it's almost impossible. There's no chance, you can't really find a way. On Rosh Hashanah, we're recognizing that there's endless potential to our capabilities only because God is our king. We discussed last week about the concept of Elul and understanding that the king is in the field. Rosh Hashanah is the next step. Because we really want to have a different results. Doesn't matter how previous year was. Everyone wants to have a better year, right? And even if you're telling me everything was the best last year, everything, whatever, I can imagine in my life that I will have, I got everything. Still, you want that to continue. And you want it to be better. Because happiness cannot stay the way it is. Think about the food that you like the most. I don't know, if it's a good steak or Italian food, whatever it is, something that you really like. At some point, if you'll eat it every day, 3 times a day, you can't touch it anymore, right? You ask, people that are dealing with food, chef, at the beginning, they eat everything, or you go to a new restaurant, but at some point, you're like, that's it. Because there's no excitement. There's no joy in something that it's over and over, right? So, that's why we says in Torah, Le'olam yu benecha kechadashim. Every day you have to make it new, right? You're in a relationship. Every day you need to fall in love again, all over again. Like, hey, good morning, how are you? Oh, nice to meet you. What's your name? Sorry. Make it new, make it special. When you get used to things, that's why in Judaism we have the concept of the purity, the Jewish purity in the house, to recreate every month the excitement to meet someone. Sometimes you only recognize when you love someone when they're not there. Sometimes you only appreciate things when you don't have them, when you miss them, right? Then you feel special that you have it, you appreciate it, right? You can spend time with your family, with siblings, over and over and over, and you're gonna have some fights, you're gonna have some this, some that. But then all of a sudden, when you miss them, when you're far away from them, you start missing them. This is normal, right? So joy, happiness cannot be, even with the best things, over and over and over. You have to change. You have to change. So even if last year was the best, if this year will be like last year, you won't feel the same excitement and the happiness that you had last year. That have to change. So every year we want it to be better. Every year we want it to grow. If it's in life, in business, in relationship, with friends, community, with your body, whatever you do, right? You're always gonna feel like, I wanna make it better. I wanna, take it to the next level. I need to feel like that this is actually going to change. This is going to be different. This is the year. That's exactly the concept. And the question again is how we can do it. So there is, just to understand on Rosh Hashanah, we have those 3 questions. That number 1, what exactly means new beginning? New beginning of what? Number 2, are we able to change, right? And number 3, how can I, even if I understand what I want to change, and I believe that I can change, how can I do it? Even if God forgive me for everything that happened, and I feel like I'm in a new place and I can do something, how can I really do it? That's the question. The thing is that if you take life as a game, right, and you play, And every time you're trying to do things, and sometimes you go to different levels and it's becoming harder, but you still in the game, right? And you play and everything is the same thing, the same rules, same character, the same things that are happening. What happens if you're not good in this game, or you don't like it anymore, or you feel that you're not satisfied? If you will stay playing the same game, nothing will change, right? Maybe you become better or faster, but nothing will change. The only way for you is to stop the game, right? And to play something else, or to do something else, right? In life, when you're in the game, when you do the same thing, everything, you cannot accept different results or tell yourself, oh, things will be different, right? If we will come to Rosh Hashana still thinking with the same mindset of the previous year, I promise you nothing is going to change. Nothing. You can promise yourself, this year I'm getting married, this year I'm gonna start a new business, this year I will be the best, this year I will be the nicest to my wife, the nicest to my husband, this year I'm going to do this, that. If you're still in the game, if you're living in the same loop, none of that will happen. You have to change something in your mind. You have to really do something different. Because if you do the same thing, you'll see the same results, right? But we want to create to ourselves different results. That's what we want. That's what Rosh Hashanah all about, to start something different, something new. Or as we says, to go back to the first beginning that we had and to do it in a little bit different way. You know that I mentioned was a few years ago, when we start the Torah, the first parsha that we have is Bereshit, bara Elohim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. At the beginning, God created everything, right? Heaven and earth. And you ask yourself, what was the first thing that God created? The first thing. There's no wrong answer over here. What is the first thing, Brennan? First thing.
Heaven.
Shlomo.
Heaven.
That's the first thing that he created?
I think you said that last week.
I don't know, I'm asking you. Every week I have different answers, by the way. Oh, okay. Take care of the AC, please. What's the first thing that God created? Huh? Teshuvah, okay. What do you mean, he created himself? He was always there. So I hear Shamayim Va'aretz, Heaven, I hear Teshuvah, I hear maybe you're trying to say the way that we, right, see God. Maybe he created space and time, right? No, 79. So, Teshuvah is saying, I think that the first thing that God created was the first thing. Let me explain. The beginning of everything, God created the beginning. It means, before he created something, there was no beginning of anything, because there was nothing. It was just God, right? So when you start something, the first thing that you create is the ability to start something, right? You can't start anything unless you created the concept of starting something, right? You can't build a building unless you have the concept of building a building, right? So the first thing is the thought. The first thing is the idea. The first thing is the ability. Then the second can be Teshuvah, heaven and earth, can be people, whatever. You take it. This is for another class. What exactly he did, how he did it. Maybe on Bereshit we're going to talk about it. But the first thing, right, a little bit philosophy, think of it. He created the idea of beginning, right? Because you can't really have a beginning without the concept of beginning, right? Sound like, come on, what exactly you want? That's the most important thing that God created. Because if you don't have it, if you don't have this mindset of beginning, you're stuck for the rest of your life. Just like you see yourself today, there's no way to change. But when God created the concept of beginning, the concept of starting something all over again, of creating a new reality, it means that we have it, right? Because again, we are image of God. So we have the power to start something new. So if you live in the same loop, you're right. But we have a gift that's called beginning, and it means the ability to start something that wasn't before. How? Because we're living our life with lots of habits, right? So I'm not gonna go into psychology and understanding who we are. That's, you can ask Sigmund Freud or Carl Jung or Adler or any one of those that are trying to understand how exactly we behave the way we are, if it's a DNA, if it's education, surrounding environment, right? Different things, different ideas. But for sure we know that when you think of something, right, you talk about it. So basically thought leads you to the power of speech, that you talk about, this is your idea, I had an idea, right? Then those ideas coming to this world, to reality, is actions, right? Actions becomes habits, that's what you do, right? When that's your habit, it basically define the person you are, right? And the way that you are, this is what you will describe your personality. And your personality basically is your destiny, your purpose in life, is who you are, what are you doing, right? So basically it means that one thought in your head, right, will lead you to your purpose, to who you are in reality. So everything starts over here, right? We know that in Kabbalah there is a concept of nefesh, ruach, neshama. It's called neran chai. There is another two levels of chaya yechida. Nefesh, ruach, and neshama. Nefesh is basically the ability to live in the physical reality, in the physical world, like our body, the blood, right? This is nefesh. Adamu nefesh, oxygen. Then ruach is the spiritual aspect of our life, that it's feeling, right? We feel something, emotions, love, hate, jealousy, happiness. This is not physical. You can't really touch. Can you touch happiness? Can you smell jealousy? Right? Can you see love? You can't. Right? You can see butterfly, but not, But when you feel it, then it's love. So this is the spiritual aspect of your life. It's not of your physical body, but you know that you have it. And the neshama, it's the connection between you and God. You know that neshama is chelek Eloham imal. It's literally part of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, part of God that you have. It's like a piece of the puzzle that you have, and that's how you connect it. So we have our body, we have our spiritual level, what we feel, what we think. Things are not physical, the ability to talk, to pray, to learn, right? And then we have the neshama, the connection. We refer to it sometimes as the flame, like the body is the candle, like they're holding the flame. And the flame is something that is like jumping on top of us. It's not really, people think that the neshama is in the body. It's the opposite. The body is in the soul, right? The same, way we see it, you can refer that also to a thought, speech, and action, right? The Tanya call it the garments of the soul. We also referred it to moach, brain, lev, heart, and kaved, liver. When moach, the brain, referred to the ability to think, right, to plan, to understand life. Then lev is the concept of dibur. It means when you feel something, you say it, but it's more spiritual, but it's already words, right? And then kaved is liver, is basically blood, is the desires, physical desires. So all of that is basically connected. And what you want is to control yourself. You don't want that your desires or emotions will control you. Because if that's what happened, you're a follower. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing to be a follower. It's a very good thing. You see with Ruth, right? The great-grandmother of King David, she was a follower. She followed Naomi. She became Jew, and she was the mother of kingdom. We call it the Ima Shel Malchut. So I'm not saying it's bad things to be follower, but you have to be in control, right? We're not robots. You have to think. When I'm saying don't be a follower, it means don't be a follower of the wrong things, right? If you're a follower of someone that is your role model, someone that is giving you motivation, someone that is giving you the drive, the motivation, the courage to do the right thing, good. But if you're following stupid people on Instagram, that don't, right? So it's not about being follower, it's about who you're following. So if you follow your brain, if you follow your thought, if you follow your knowledge, if you follow the Torah, good. But if you follow your gut, as we say, you follow desires, you follow emotions, you follow feelings, you follow things that are not necessarily good for you, right? But I feel like that, I really want it, I need it, No, you don't need it, you don't, right? But it jumped from I see it to I want it, I need it, right? The song. To, right, like I need it, it's I have to be. No, it's not. But the Torah is already telling us, when you see something, you want it. And you feel like, if you're a salesman, and those who deal with sales, I don't know if any of you, maybe Troy. So you know that one of the good things, if you really want to sell something to someone, it's let them try it, let them feel it, let them see it. So let's say that you just go to over here, Balharbu shops, and you just go to a Louis Vuitton. Just like going inside, happens to be, there was a person in line, and they weren't there, and it was like, Mrs. So-and-so here, and you were like, that's me, right? And obviously it's not you, but you're getting inside the store, right? The best way for the salesman to make you buy something, even if you weren't planning on it, is to let you try it, take it, use it. And then you put it and it's like, it's nice, I like it. Match the shoes, match the dress, all of the sudden it's like, I will take it, I'm taking it, right? But it's $10,000, I'm taking it. You didn't even pay rent last month, taking it, right? Listen, I'm gonna find someone rich, that's it, right? That's it. Why? Because you feel that it's part of you. You don't see it like it's something separate, it's part of you, right? Everything is like that. When you let people see it, smell it, touch it, they already feel like, as a salesman, before you talk, you first give the person a sample or something. Take it, use it. You talk about something else. You let them play with it. After a few minutes, oh, by the way, so what you have in your hands now, and you give your pitch, right? But that's it, sold. And you just tell them, so you want to pay cash or credit card, right? So, same thing is with life. When you see things, you want it. You touch it, you in, right? So, we have a concept of אם פגע בך מנוול זה, משחהו לבית המדרש. It means if you're walking on the street and the Yetzer Hara, you heard about the Yetzer Hara? The evil inclination is our best friend. We love him. Every morning when I'm waking up, he's there next to me, waiting for me. When I'm going to sleep, he's with me. My best friend, right? And this Mr. Evil Incarnation is also going with me when I'm just walking to public. He's always there for me, right? When I need him, especially when I don't need him. So he's telling you to do something that is not good for you, right? Look over here, look over there, touch here, touch there. So it's not good for you. What do you need to do? So the Gemara is telling us, the Talmud, the rabbis are telling us, if you walk on the street and he's telling you, watch, look over here, look over there, what you need to do? Go to Bet HaMidrash. Go to Sephardic Center, take a book, open the book. I was like, I don't understand. And bring him with you. Meshacheu leBet HaMidrash. Don't tell him, see you tomorrow, see you later. No. Bring him with you. That's what literally the rabbis are telling us. Right? Imagine. Does that make any sense? I asked myself many years. I understand, don't talk to him, right? Like your parents are telling you, don't talk to strangers, so don't talk to the Yetzer Hara, it's not good for you, right? I get it. I get separate from him, run to shul, but bring him with you? That doesn't make any sense. The rabbis know when you want something, you're using the, I'm not going to call it hormones because it's not, but using these emotions of I want something. You having, the desires are open, the senses are open, you see things, you want it, right? Like you're going to an event and you ate at home and you feel good and he says like, I'm not going to eat anything, right? You go to like a friend, a wedding, an event, it's like, I'm not eating anything, I'm good, right? And as long as you're getting into the event space, the smell, right? You smell, and it's like, wow, it's good. It's people from Dominicana making a wedding over here. You smell arroz con frijoles, right? And it's like you open your appetite, and then when you come and you see the buffet is open, right? And the waiters are like, sir, ma'am, can I give you something? You can't say no, right? Give me a little bit just to try. We call it in Hebrew, im ha'ochel ba te'avon. The appetites come with the food. When you start, right, the French people call it apéritif. Apéritif, you start with something small and that will lead to something else, right? When you go to Israeli restaurant, first thing they give you lots of salads, right? Spicy. So you need to eat something like, and then you order half of the menu. Give me this and this and that and that. You're not starving. You already ate. When it's appetite, right? When it's open, you want things. The rabbis are telling them something very fundamental and crazy, but at the same time it's so true and simple. When you walk on the street and the buffet is open and you have desire and you have appetite to do things, the rabbis don't tell you, close that, close your eyes, don't use it. It says no, the opposite. Use it to the right thing. Run to shul, bring them with you. And use that desire to do things, to learn Torah, to be nice to people, to give tzedakah, to call you grandma and say, hey, how are you? Shana Tova, Mitzuka. Don't shut it off. Don't kill it. The opposite. Use it. When you feel the drive, when you feel like, I want to do something, use it. Use it. Right? It's like they tell you, if you feel like you need to eat something, do exercise. Like never work, right? By me, it's the opposite. When I want to exercise, I'm going to eat something. Right? Basically, we living our life the way that we see things and it become part of us, right? When people living their life, when they get used to things, so they stop thinking. At some point, it's called addiction, right? You have the trigger, the things that touch you, that you feel like, and that's become need, right? And from that need, you feel like you have to take care of that need because you can't really continue anymore. And then whatever you do, you smoke, you drink, you gamble, whatever you do doesn't matter anymore. You feel that you're satisfied, you relax, you calm, right? And then all over again. You live in the cycle of addiction. And we all of us, we all addict. People think, oh, only if you're alcohol, only if you're, no. We all have the things that we need to satisfy ourselves. Why? Because we have this feeling of emptiness, that we want to feel things, right? But it's good sometimes because that's what giving us drive to get married, to have kids, to work. I want to be satisfied. I don't want to be a loser, right? But that's the same, right, trigger and the same feeling of emptiness, make people to be addict to other things because they need to forget about it or they need to do something with it, right? And now it doesn't matter. And you see sometimes people, when they work on themselves and they change, right? So let's say someone is smoking and he quit. But now he start eating, right? Or let's say someone that he stopped eating but he start drinking. So basically it means they didn't really change. They replace the, whatever they used to satisfy themselves. Before was food, now it's alcohol or smoking or gambling or something else, right? Why? Because they didn't really change themselves. They're living the same cycle, the same loop of triggers. Something happened, whatever, you feel down, you're bored, whatever, something happened, right? And that's obviously the trigger to, I need to take care of it. You feel the need, you feel a little bit empty, and then you need to satisfy that and you do something. And everyone is trying to tell you how to deal with it. But no one is telling you to solve that issue from the beginning. It means that when something is happening, it's not gonna even bother you. It's not even gonna make you feel empty. It's not even will create a need to do something with it. Why? Because you're good. Everything is amazing. You're satisfied. You feel amazing, right? You don't feel like you need to do something with it. That's what we're trying to change. That's what we're trying to change on Rosh Hashana. To come to the point that if someone is looking at me in the wrong way or saying something, so if usually I'm going crazy, getting very upset, very angry, I'm so mad, it's like this guy coming home and says, my dear wife, I saved someone's life today. He says, wow, what a tzaddik, bemet. He's Moroccan. He says, wow, yeah, today I saved someone's life. Wow, what happened? So I'm driving on I-95 and someone cut me and drove over and I want to kill him and I didn't. So he saved his life, right? Sometimes we're like that. We go around and we're getting upset for nonsense. So there is three different to deal with that. And it's very important also for relationship, right? When you're married, have a boyfriend or girlfriend and you start to build something together. So there is fights or arguments and it's normal. Why it's normal? Because when you put two people together, they're not the same, right? And there is some things that they need to figure out, right? And to talk about. So the easiest way, and that's what people do, they go crazy, right? They fight, they scream, and hopefully they will relax after. But that's the normal reaction. I don't like it, I will point it out, right? What do you mean? I have rights to say what I like, what I don't, right? Don't force me, don't this, don't that. Especially today, we have rights, everybody equal rights, everyone have the, me too, all of the, Baruch Hashem. You can't say a word. Everyone have his rights. So that's the normal reaction. The problem is that can lead to nonsense, to craziness, to a fight, and then to a point, God forbid, that this relationship won't be able to continue anymore as a one entity, right? So then people says, you know what? I will say start with, you don't have to say everything you think at the same moment. You go crazy, relax. It means deal with your reaction. The reaction doesn't have to be crazy. It can be, from 0 to 10. So if every day usually you go 11, so start to go 6, 7. Don't go crazy. Deal with your reaction. That's step number 1, right? You're working on your reaction. You're still getting upset, you still don't like, you still react, but a little bit lower, right? The next step is not just not to react like crazy, is to stop before you react, to think. To say, wait a minute, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, maybe I can say it later in a nicer way, maybe I will find the timing to say it, right? You can't say something, you want to say something, your husband is about to leave 1 minute before an event or something. You can't open a conversation right now, or it's not going to lead anywhere, right? So this is like the next step. You're thinking before you react, right? So you're already better, you're a little bit in control. The next step is when someone is doing something to you and you're getting upset, you're not getting so upset. You're like, okay, right? Yes, bothered me, they did something, but you're not going crazy. You relax. The best way is that it's not gonna bother you. So we're going from crazy reaction, right, to doesn't even bother me. There is steps in between, right? You go from the crazy reaction to a normal, mild, right? Salsa verde, not like super crazy, but a little bit. Then you go like, think before you act, think before you say something. Then you go to, I'm not even so upset, right? And then you can be in a place that didn't really bother me, honestly, right? And that's the point that you want to be. Why? Because when that's happened, you don't need to deal with your anger. When people have anger issues and they go to therapists to talk about it, what they're gonna talk about is how you react better, right? Or how you deal with your anger issue, right? But the real thing is how the trigger doesn't bother you anymore. How there is no trigger. Because if there is no trigger, there's no addiction, there's no anger issues, there is no jealousy, there's nothing. Because there's no trigger. And how there is no trigger? What you do in order to nullify that trigger, in order to be in a place that doesn't really bother you. Anything. Only if you don't full of yourself, if you don't see yourself like you're a king, you're a queen, and you deserve to get everything, and everything belongs to you. So you're not getting so upset. But when you take everything personal, obviously you react like that, right? If you're gonna hear two cashiers in Publix having an argument, it's gonna bother you? It's not gonna bother you, right? Unless you're in line and you're actually waiting, because you have nothing to do with it. But when someone argues with you, now all of a sudden you feel like Rosh Hashana, it's the time that we take care of the trigger. It's the time that we're making the beginning new, not a new beginning. We're making the beginning that we have, we're making it new. We're going to change it, to improve it, to make it better. We're going to look inside, deep down, in ourselves, and say, you know what? I will take care of the trigger. So it's not like I'm going to deal with the reaction, I'm going to deal with the addiction, I'm going to deal with my hobbies or with the things that I'm doing. Because when you're used to something, you just doing it natural, you don't even think. They find out that unfortunately some people, they have Alzheimer, they forget everything. They're coming to an age or a stage in life when literally they don't remember their family, no one, right? So obviously they were trying to find a solution for that, and it's very difficult till today. There is no real. They can lower that, they can slower the process, but not like actual way to cure people that already have it. So when people they start like having those like symptoms or signs like they will have it in 2-3 years, there is a way to deal with it. They find out the people with Alzheimer, what they find out, they're still, they know how to go to the restaurant. They know how to go to the grocery store across the street and buy whatever they like to eat. They realize something that we don't think. Those people, they forget everyone and everything they know, but they still live. They know how to dress. They know how to get a shower, right? They know how to go and buy food for themselves. You realize that? How they remember that? Everything is memory. Everything is memory, right? So if you don't remember your wife, how come you remember the grocery store across the street, right? It's not even like on the same priority. So how that's possible? They found out that the brain functions in two different ways. There is things that it's not just a memory, it becomes a habit, it becomes part of you. And there is a thing that you remember, it's you and your memories. When someone having, unfortunately, Alzheimer, something in the connection stop, and that person, he doesn't recognize the memory, doesn't remember, the things are separate from him. It means he sees family, his friend, his life as separate from himself, and therefore he don't remember that anymore. But eating and taking a shower, this is not memory that he feel like separate from himself. It's one entity, it's his body, that's what he does, right? That's habits, that's naturally for him. Just like you know how to walk and you know how to bike, right? It's a muscle memory. So what they start to do when they see people that are about to be there, right? They start to teach them how to live their life as a habit, as like, you don't see your wife as a separate entity, as something that it's like, you need to remember her. It's part of you. But by the way, it's amazing for Shalom Bait in general. You don't see your kids or your family or your friend as something separate. Just like you know how to get dressed and you know how to go to the grocery store, even people with Alzheimer that don't remember anything, that's how you remember the people around you. It means that the way that we think needs to be a little bit different. We live our life in a loop. We live our life in a way that we just do things. But when things are separate than who we are, so we don't remember that. We know that we want to do things. We know I want to be better, I want to be nicer, I want to talk in a better way, I want to dress nicer, I want to learn more, I want to volunteer, I want to give. There's so many things I want to do. But in reality, you don't do it. Why you don't do it? Because you forget. How you forget, right? How come you forget? Because it's not part of you, right? You don't forget yourself because it's you. Can you forget yourself? It's impossible. You is you, right? You forget only things that are separate than you. On Rosh Hashana, we're trying to engrave our potential in ourselves as one entity. It means that we ask at the beginning, what exactly are we talking about? New beginning. New beginning of what? Right? Not necessarily every new beginning is good. Sometimes I want to continue the same thing I have, right? Shlomo, you happy about your marriage? You have to say yes. Shoshana is here.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Baruch Hashem. Do you want to have a new beginning in the relationship?
No, I want to make
No, exactly. So why we say we want to have a new beginning? You want to relive again the beginning that you had. It means the moment you fell in love, the moment you had like those sparks in your eyes. Shana, you remember that? First date, right? That you want to relive it again. It means you don't want to have a new beginning. You want the beginning that you have to make it new every day. You know what I want? I want when I'm putting the feeling in the morning and I'm praying, right? I don't want it to be like, I did it so many times already, years. It's boring, it's this, it's that, right? No. I want it like it's new, like it just happened, right? Just happened. And you know, side point, it's actually connected also to you, the ladies section of this room. When we put the tefillin, you know what are we saying? I don't know if you're aware of it. You know what do we say? When we put the tefillin, we put 3 rings on our finger. You know? We put 3 rings. 1, 2, 3. Every morning. And when we put those 3 rings with that tefillin, we say, Ve'erastich li le'olam, ve'erastich li. Right? And we say 3 times, Ve'erastich li. It means you'll be engaged to me. Who is telling us you'll be engaged to me? God is telling us, the Jewish people, you, my fiance, right? We put 3 rings every morning. 1, 2, 3. And we say 3 times, you'll be engaged to me, you'll be engaged to me. 3 times, every morning. And you know what do we say? Ve'erastich li le'olam. You'll be engaged. What is le'olam? Forever. You want to be engaged forever or you want to get married one day? Huh? I think at some point you want to get married, right? You don't want to be engaged forever. When you get engaged, it means I'm ready. I have a time, I have a date, I want to do it. So why do we say ve'erastich li le'olam? Forever. No. Right? Imagine, I actually did it one time, went to an engagement party. And I say my blessing to, the amazing Chatan ve'Kala, that you'll never get married, Be'ezrat Hashem. And they wanted to kill me. And they were looking at me like, and then I repeated in Spanish, because I says maybe they don't understand my English. And now they were really upset. They started to throw arepas on me, Says, Be'ezrat Hashem, you'll never get married. Right? So someone is like, Rabbi, I think you had too much l'chaim. So it's like, no, let me tell you. When you get married, sometimes what happens is 2 things. Number 1, you feel like you did it. You did it. That's it. You check. There's nothing to look up anymore. There's nothing to wait for. You did it. Right? Now what? Right? When people says, oh, that was the best day of my life, I feel bad for them. Because it means that the next day after they got married, that's it, they're going down. Right? You can't say this is the best day. This is the best day of your life till that day, right? Then the next day it's better than this day. You have to go higher and higher, right? But so the thing is that number 1, you feel like I did it. Number 2, you get used to it. You get used to. Just like the food, when you eat every day the same thing, you feel like whatever, right? So you get used to it. You wake up in the morning and says, oh, this guy, so annoying. He's like, what do you mean so annoying? You love them. You say he's your king, he's your this, he's your that. Now he's nobody. This is moment in life that's like, do me a favor, go play poker with your friends. How that's possible? You, a few years ago, were so upset when he came home late 5 minutes. Now he says, Hashem, please make him late. Traffic. You call people, just go to I-95, make more traffic. So it's not, how that's possible? Because when you get used to it, when you don't appreciate it, when you forget the excitement that you had, that's it, you're losing it. So we says, ve'erastich li le'olam. The excitement of getting engaged, keep it forever. So when I told this couple, don't get married, doesn't mean physically, obviously get married. But in your, in your head, in your brain, don't get married. Always keep this excitement, just get engaged. Going with the ring, like when girls just getting engaged, they walk like that in the street. Just like something happens. Like I asked one time, like, "Are you okay? Can you move?" It's like, "No, I like this position. I just like it, right?" And then at some point, sometimes it's like the ring is like, "No, I'm washing my hands," right? How? You were so excited. That's keep this excitement. This is ve'erastich li le'olam. Keep the excitement of just getting engaged forever. That's Rosh Hashana. Make it a new beginning. The beginning that you had when you remember you were a kid, you were excited about life, you were excited about yourself. You look at the mirror and you were singing the Disney songs and you're like, yeah, I can do it. Do it! Why are you laughing, Troy? You did it? Do it! That. Don't get used to yourself. Don't give up on your own dreams and hope. Because if that's what you do, you're actually gonna live, the same loop over and over and over and over and over. When you're getting to this point, this age or this stage in life, when like whatever, that's who I am, how people says, especially Israeli, my way or the highway, I hate when people saying that. No, don't be so like, stubborn, like action. Don't be so strict with. Open your eyes. Maybe you can do things in a different way, right? Keep the excitement. So on Rosh Hashana, we're saying, Hashem, I know that we can do it. I know that we're capable. I know that every day, Le'olam iyu be'enecha kechadashim. Every day can be a new day. Every day you can have the excitement like it just happened right now. Every day. That's what you need to do. Every day you're putting tefillin. That was the blessing that my rabbi, when I was 13 years old, minus a month, a month before the bar mitzvah, I went to the rabbi and I put the tefillin for the first time. So we brought l'chaim, we had some, some alcohol. In Israel you start drinking when you're 12. That's the officially, So we had some l'chaim and some piece of cake. And he told me, every day when you put the tefillin, remember the excitement, of actually doing l'chaim. I won't lie, I actually don't remember that every day. And even if I remember, I don't actually have doing l'chaim. It's funny, the only times that I'm doing l'chaim in the morning is on Shabbat when I'm not putting the tefillin, it's actually. But sometimes I remember that. Sometimes I'm like, wow, in my head is like, wow, I'm so lucky, right? I'm doing something that is connecting me. That's Rosh Hashana. Rosh Hashana is to stop everything and to feel like I'm so lucky. I have another year. I have another opportunities. I can do things in a different way. I can relive the beginning again. I can fall in love again. I can, in business sometimes you have a startup. You're starting something new, and at the beginning you're very excited. And you see kids, they sleep in the basement of their mom, and they have no money, no friends, no life, but they're so excited about what they're doing, right? And they work so hard, and then you have Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Jeff Bezos around you, right? From those basements. Hopefully. That, you lose it, this excitement. I see it many times, lots of Israeli friends, they're going from startup to a company. I don't know if you see this, they change from startup working from home till 3 a.m., 4 a.m. to a company, to a 9 to 5, to a CEO, CFO, COO, vice president, board, meetings, right? You see that after a few years, maybe they make more money, maybe they become more famous, zero excitement. Most of the people that had exit or they actually were able to go public with their company, with their startup, they quit their own company and they start something new. Because they cannot really live a life of 9 to 5. So they open something, in Israel, they sell it, boom, they start something new. And I was like, why? Says, that's it, I lost the excitement. They like to stay till 4 a.m. They like to feel it. We want to have it every day in our relationship, with our family, with our friends, with God, with the Torah, with the prayers, with the mitzvot, with the good deeds. It's more important with ourselves. We want every day to wake up in the morning to be excited with ourselves, with our opportunities, with the day. Avraham Avinu was so big, was so special, and he says, "Ve'Avraham zaken ba bayamim." Abraham was old, but he came with the days. Every day was special for him. Just 2-3 days ago was 9/11. And everyone here in this room remember exactly 9/11. 22 years ago. I was 10 years old. Remember in school. Remember just like today when the teacher, was no one had phones. I was in school, religious school in Bnei Brak 22 years ago. We didn't have anything digital, anything, And he came with the Nokia. Remember the Nokia, the 300, whatever? Text, black and white. And he got a text from his friend in New York, something happened. And then we called, and my mom called me because my cousin, his friend, his father was working there, whatever, I don't know, a Syrian guy. Bottom line, we were crazy. I remember the day I came home and everyone was talking about it. And you remember exactly what happened. Like this day, I can tell you exactly what happened with school, the friends, the teacher, what was the conversation, why? Why? Because I have a good memory? Because I'm a genius? No, because it was special. 9/11 was very special. That's it. But let me tell you something. Every day of your life, you can make it 9/11. Not God forbid people dying. Special, unique, important, in your head. Every day is the same 24 hours. Every day. You choose if it's special and it's important for you, remember that. If it's not, you don't. No one forget the day that he got married. By the way, they says that the best gula for you to remember your anniversary is to forget one time. That's, I promise you, not gonna happen. You remember your bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, you remember your anniversary. Why? Because it's important for you. Rosh Hashanah is the time that we say, this is important for me. Every day is going to be Rosh Hashanah for me. Every day is going to be special. That's why it's a judgment day, but at the same time, it's the best day of your life. It's a holiday. You know why? Because it's up to you how you see it. It's up to you. For example, I need to pay tuition. So either it's like so annoying, right? I need to pay mortgage. So annoying. Leasing for my car. So annoying. But wait a minute. I have a house, I have a car, and I have kids. Hallelujah. Baruch Hashem. So paying, right? It's actually proof that I have something. God judging us, it's a proof that we have something. We have day, we have opportunities, we have responsibilities, right? We have obligations to do things. Because no one will judge you for something that is nothing to do with you. So if God is judging us, you know what it means? That we are responsible for our life. That we have life. That we have days. So for me, when I'm thinking about, wow, Rosh Hashanah, Judgment Day, I'm like, wow, Rosh Hashanah, Judgment Day. I have Rosh Hashanah, I have day. I have life, I have myself, I have people around me. I can do things, I can create, I can build. Right? I can do things. You go to the developer and you tell him, there's no piece of land. There's nothing for you to do. What's going to happen to him? He wants you to tell him, build over here, build over there, do this, do that. We are developers of ourselves, of our life. And God is telling us, you know, God is the guy from Saudi Arabia giving Kushner the money. He is the here, billion, do it, you know, week, months, days. But we are the developers, we are the builders, we are the ones who are doing things. So imagine someone telling you, hey, what's going on with the building in Wynwood that you need to do? And they're going to be like, don't judge me. No, judge me. I want one day to get a phone call from someone asking me what's going on with my building in New York, right? In Manhattan. What's going on? Why 20% of the building is empty and not rented? I was like, wow, that's a good phone call, right? I have a building in Manhattan. I don't, one day, right? So judging us, it's good. Hashem judging us, it's good. It means we have things. We have life. So just to understand, number one, Rosh Hashanah, it's a judgment day, and that's why it's such a happy day. That's why it's the best day of the year, because we have something that you can judge me for, right? When your wife judging you, be happy, you have a wife, right? Don't judge her. Number one is the understanding that Rosh Hashanah, it's a special holiday, recognition for our ability, capabilities, opportunities, potential, skills, talents. That's number one. Number two, when we're talking about new beginning, is not to have a new beginning, to make our beginning new. The first day of job, the first day of relationship, the first day of our life, make it new, make it excited, make it special. Remember every day, right? Number three, believe in yourself that you can change. Only when you know that every day is a new day. It's not a continuation of before, it's a new day, right? It's a new day. So to change something that already happened, it's impossible. But to do something new, that's easy, right? To react in a different way, it's difficult. But to change the trigger, to change the way that you see things, now that's become easier, right? So we're not really asking you to change yourself. What we're asking you is to see things in a different way. So when we're talking about Rosh Hashanah as a new beginning, it's a day that God is giving us the opportunity to do things in a different way. And I promise you, when you do things in a different way, you know what you get? Different results, right? That's exactly what you get. So when we say, God, thank you that you forgive me for everything that happened, but still, I don't know what's gonna change. It's like, no, you don't understand. God doesn't forgive you things that happened yesterday. That's not what God is doing. That's everybody can do. I can forgive you. You say something, I forgive you. What's so special about God? When He's forgiving us, what's so special? Did any of you ever forgive someone, did something to you? You forgive someone? כן, קרה? אני יודע, ריבו לא סולח. Sometimes you forgive someone, right? You do something. So what's so special about God? Forgive us. Thank you. God doesn't forgive us. God considers like that things never happened. It means we're talking about 9/11. One day maybe we can forgive them for doing that, right? But imagine we can basically tell Osama bin Laden, oh, 9/11 never happened. It's okay, don't worry, all good. That's impossible, right? Cannot change the history. God can do it. God can change history. Rosh Hashanah is the time that when you understand that God is the King, it's not just, oh, we forgive Him for the past, but still, how I can do things in a different way. No, you don't understand. The past never happened. So don't worry, move on. That's a new beginning. A new beginning is you have the opportunity to do your beginning again. Yesterday never happened. Doesn't mean never happened like ignore it. Learn from that. Learn from the past. Learn from experience. That's Rosh Hashanah all about. My blessing to all of us. Be'ezrat Hashem. In 2 days, when we're going to celebrate Rosh Hashanah, we're going to dip the apple in the honey. We're going to, hopefully for the first time in our life, to live the loop that we're living and to relive again the beginning that we already had. To have this excitement in our life. To say, thank you Hashem for everything you're giving me. To look around us, to the people that we have in our life, to the opportunities that we have, and to appreciate it. And when this is your approach, I promise you, if you're single, this is your approach, you will meet people that will die to be next to you, because that's what we call over here good vibes. When you appreciate everyone, when you're excited about life, when you have a smile in your face and everything is good and everything is new and everything is refreshing. And if you're married and you bring that attitude to your marriage, you're gonna have the best shalom bayit. And if you have kids and that's how you take care of them, and if you have a business and that's how you deal with your boss or your employees, everything is gonna be the best. Because when you bring excitement to the story, when you bring a new opportunities to the picture, everything can only grow higher and higher. Shana Tova u'Metuka, everyone, and thank you for coming.